Greetings, and today, welcome back to a new episode of it's more like an origin video sincerely. So, in this video, I'm gonna talk about something that I never talked before. I mentioned a couple of my friends in yesterday about my being a guy who always liked the Capcom games, and there's no stranger, I really like Capcom. Most people prefer, in the old days when you had the NES, SNES, most of my friends were Konami. Nowadays I don't know what they were doing, but they were Konami. I was Capcom. As a result, I was quite different, but it didn't matter too much. I really enjoyed them. But really, that will be another story for another day. But today I'm going to review something more special for me. I'm going to review, myself as a gamer, to tell my origins as a Capcom. Enjoy the games. For some reason. Today, I'm gonna review these two right here. I did review Demon's Crest, so I'm not gonna review it again. Instead, I'm gonna tell myself how I enjoy and how I get the game very easily. I did mention the story in the last video, but I decided to do it anyway. But how to make the game is just the other video. Check out the video of Demon's Crest as well. The gameplay I did already for like 3 months ago or so. Check out the video if you're interested. And I'm also gonna talk about my childhood experience with Street Fighter 2010. And no, it's not a fighting game; it's a platform game. For those who are thinking that because of the name, so that's why. And we'll see. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not gonna tell the story, who created the game, not at all of Street Fighter 2010, because I don't want to spoil it. Instead, I'm gonna talk about how I get the game and how I play it and how I got the experience as a child. Not the story, all the story has. It's not gonna happen. That video will be at the end of 2020, December 31 of 2020. That's the video that came out. So we had a long time ago to get around. So I'm not gonna tell the story. So be aware if you are thinking I'm gonna review the game. No, it's not gonna happen. That'll be in 31 of 2020. After let's hoping that the coronavirus is ending. If not, that'll be for another time. But I will review the game, but that'll be another occasion. As for Demon's Crest, again, I keep the review already. So, anyways, I'll start with Demon's Crest. That's the one I start. That was in Christmas of 1999. Jesus, I'm getting old. And when I got the game, first of all, I started with Super Metro, which love the game by the way. This game is completely different. When I got the game from Christmas, I thought myself, I'm looking at the cover, you see that the Red Arimer, the firebrand. The Demon's Crest is, I know already that it was the Gargoyle's Quest, but I didn't know the Gargoyle's Quest at the time. Remember, this is 1999. I didn't have no idea what the Gargoyle's Quest was until much later when I played the game on the Game Boy and the NES. This is before I noted it. So remember, there's no internet back then, so I had no idea if it's good or bad. So I got the game thinking, a little stoked, but a little frightened because of the Gargoyle. So I did pop the game to my SSNES Junior, and by surprise, I saw the intro song, the beginning song, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, oh, very impressed with the song. It was gothic, satanic, evil looking. And since I was playing, you guessed it, Spirit of Destiny on MS-DOS by the sequel of Wolfenstein, and the evil music you hear before. By the way, check out the Wolfenstein video and the origins of it. I did review already. So when I saw the video, it reminds me of that evilness. And of course, since I do watch the comics by Disney known as Gargoyles, which by the way I recommend to watch the comic book. The comic is just awesome. Being a huge fan of the good old gothic medieval time period and a fan of the evil music, immediately I fell in love with the game. I saw the story of the game. I'm like, I was jumping like crazy. I was getting super excited because I never seen the game that before. I pressed that start and I see the dragon, which is Somolmos is the name of the dragon. Well, when I started at first I didn't know how to defeat him until I realized you're supposed to fly and then defeat him up and down all the time. And at first I didn't get it because it was so super bizarre to me, because I thought it was a platform like, or Metroidvania like Super Metroid. But no, this game was a combination of Mega Man X, Castlevania, Metroid, and the Tesguro of Ghouls and Ghosts. Because remember, Demon's Crest was a spin-off. It was from the Gargoyle's Quest. But again, I didn't know that until much later as the internet goes on. So I did play it. It was amazing, and I fell in love with the game. It was just an instant hook. And I did play it again to death, to find the secrets, find the items, find the orbs, find all the crests to the end, and defeat Phalanx. It was a sensation. Well, that was impressive until the Dark Demon. When I get all the items, I get the password. By the way, in order to get the password, you have to get all the items, all the orbs, everything, even these talismans. When you get all the items, you get the password on the screen. And take a note on your notebook, reset the console, put the password, and that's it. Then you get the bottles, enough for defeat him, and some magic potions to defeat the Dark Demon. Let me say straight, the Dark Demon is a OP character, which stands for overpowered, by the way. Well, it's a OP. It's a beast. He's almost impossible to beat him. I only beat once. That was years later in 2005. That was once, and since then I was never able to beat the Dark Demon. It was simply difficult. The boss requires a lot of skills, and the patterns are unpredictable at best. But I still love the game, and that's the game I popped the most. You think Super Metroid was the game I popped the most? Well, it is wrong. That's this game I popped the most. I pop every single time I Super Nintendo just to beat the Dark Demon and get better in my skills. And that's why I adore Super Demon's Crest. It's just, that was my second favorite game that's behind Super Metroid. But that doesn't mean this game will soon dethrone Super Metroid in one occasion. But that will be in the future. Who knows? That was the game I played the most. If you haven't played Demon's Crest, go check it out. It's available on the Wii U and 3DS Virtual Console or the Nintendo Switch online service. It's not available unless you want to spend hundreds of dollars of it, because the game is quite expensive these days. It's quite a cool item. That's the game. The next game I'm gonna show you is another favorite of mine. The mighty, invincible, incredible, and amazing Street Fighter 2010. Once again, it's not a fighting game. It isn't a fighting game. It's a platformer. Well, the reason this game didn't do very well, I'm gonna tell you a little bit. Well, it's due to the name. In Japan, it's called 2010, and the name of the character it's called Kevin Stryker. In America, they call it, you guessed it, Kevin Ken Master from Street Fighter. Well, they do this to make it appeal for market, but unfortunately, due to the misleading information and the name, the game didn't do very well financially. The same problem with Demon's Crest, but that's what I love Capcom. So many hidden gems that didn't succeed, but really enjoyable. Same with Konami, but unlike Konami, who always tossed it away and abandoned it and never heard about, Capcom at least did have a little attention to the game for at least. Like I mentioned, the game is just a platform. It's just amazing, and I love the character you see right here. It reminds me of Captain Commando, which I recommend to play the game, by the way. Captain Commando. I love the sci-fi stuff. It's just amazing. And of course, being a Metroid geeky fan and a Gothic fan, well, just adore the game. It's just amazing. I'm not gonna again reveal the story. That will be in a full episode, but I'll explain how I play the game anyway. The next thing I'm gonna talk about, well, I already mentioned, is the story about how I got inspired with Street Fighter 2010. Now, a lot of some people really, I saw many videos, especially ABGN. Don't get me wrong, I love ABGN. It's just he's the influential of some video games. But when I watched the video of Street Fighter 2010, I'm like, why he's complaining? Why just sit down and enjoy instead of just complaining again? Yeah, I know the game is relentlessly difficult, and that's what it means. And as you know, guys, I'm a huge fan of hardcore difficulty games that are really hard and put my skills to the next level. Because, as you know, guys, I'm extremely relentless with hard games. I'm not a guy who gave up that easily. I'll continue until finally beat it. Even though I really when the hands are in the earth, but that's how I am. Well, he can play a game that is hard and difficulty, which I agree that it's hard, but I disagree that it's impossible to be. It is possible to be. All you need is skills. Lots of skills. Great ones. As a result, this game is quite. In fact, this is one of the most underrated NES games of the Capcom games. Very underrated game. As a result, when I got the game, that was in almost the new year of the 2000. It was 99. That was the early 2000. Well, a beginning, of course. Before the celebration, my dad gave me this game alongside with Metroid, which is the other game that I played. I did review Metroid, the original game. Check out the video if you haven't seen it. It's an old video, of course. It's been a year that I reviewed it, but it's there if you want to watch it. Anyways, okay, we start with Demons. Street Fighter. Okay, Street Fighter 2010. It's awesome, super awesome. When I got the game, I was immediately blown away, but I didn't have any expectation. Remember, this is before I got Street Fighter, the fighting game. This is way before I got it. As a result, I had no idea about Street Fighter games, and until I realized this is another game from in Japan. It's called 2010, and the guy is not even Ken. It's called Kevin. So that's a little story for another time, for a full video of this game. When I got the video game, I was immediately blown away by the graphics, by the adventure, the sci-fi stuff. I'm a huge fan of the sci-fi stuff, not only the gothic stuff. So, being able to be a fan of the Metroid stuff immediately blew me away. The character, if you look at the cover, he looks super gorgeous. He reminds me of Captain Commando because the glasses, the blonde hair. The glasses and the blonde hair reminds me of a lot of characters. For example, the dude from Forgotten Worlds, perhaps Captain Commando, or I'm Duke Nukem and I'm coming to get the alien bastards. Yep. Every single time when I see a character that is short hair, blonde, and with glasses, immediately thinking of Duke Nukem, or perhaps Captain Commando. Or it's because I love characters with blonde hair, short hair, and the typical macho attitude. Well, inspiration. By the way, I recommend to check out. Well, it's not uploaded yet, but there's a video of Duke Nukem 2 that I'm gonna upload soon, later. So the inspiration. Anyways, back to the game. Before I mention something, back to the games, because if I mention some stuff, I might go on and on and on. So back to the video. Well, Street Fighter 2010. This game amazing, gorgeous, superior than anything. It is a platform game, not a fighting game for those who are asking. This game, at start, it start easy at level 1 up to 6. When you pass the level 7, it gets harder and harder and harder and harder, and plus the difficulty is more trickier. The last stage is a rush boss. You have to rush every single boss that you feed before on this game before you get at the last boss. Once again, I'm not gonna spoil the ending. Better I'll save it to the real review, which is in the end of this year. As a result, you will see it sincerely. But I'll put the music if you listen. The music is just so memorable. The music. It's one of my favorite soundtracks on the NES, alongside with Metroid and Super Contra. It's one of my favorite songs on the NES. Very few games is capable of doing this. As a result, I played this game hours and hours non-stop, defeating the bosses, getting I spent a lot of time, much more than Metroid and Super Contra. In Metroid was super long game and I was to defeat it. In Contra was relentlessly hard, but like I mentioned, I was a very relentless kid, never to stop. As a result, I was able to beat it for most. As well, in this game, it's the game that I popped the most on my NES. Well, in this case, the Retro Trio, I popped this game a lot of times, up there with Metroid. As a result, this is the game that I play the most, all the time, as a result. And this is the game I really enjoyed to this day. Do yourself a favor, if you haven't played Street Fighter 2010, give it a try. It's just an amazing game, very underrated in my opinion. I don't care what people say about that. It's hard. Don't make me any excuses. This is a great game. It's just amazing. Check it out. It's a criminal if you don't play this game. Anyways, so I'm gonna leave you with a video of, well, they're very short and not very long. They're like 5 minutes each of both videos, both recorded on my. They're all stock footage that I recorded a long while ago. This is before my Samsung TV and the see outside broke. Well, and so I'm gonna show it to you. Anyways, any of those games are very amazing. That's it for most. I hope that is really helpful for you and tell my story more about me. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video of my childhood origins with Capcom as a company. Capcom's still doing mostly alright with the release of Resident Evil 3, the remake, which someday will review the game, the PS1 version. I don't know, I'm not sure. But anyways, as a result, I hope you enjoyed the video and having a good time. Please stay healthy, stay at home, don't do any horrible stuff with the coronavirus going on. Stay at home, safely, nicely, read a book or eat something, or perhaps watch my videos if you want. There's a lot of time you can watch my entire playlist. In fact, there's a bunch of playlists that I made of the NES, SNES, Genesis. I did already. If you want to search the video, which in this video is on the, I'm gonna call it Q&As of me, or personals of me. That'll be soon available. So anyways, just remember, stay at home, safe, far away from the evilness of the coronavirus. The more you stay home, save more lives, especially you and me. Anyways, have a good day, take care, and see you next time, my friend. Take care, everybody, and have a good day. you.